I think that there are a few moments in every regeneration of the Doctor that define that incarnation of the character. Scenes or episodes that instantly come to mind when you think about each version of the Time Lord. The 12th Doctor's war speech, the fury of the 10th Doctor at the end of the Family of Blood, him saying goodbye to Rose, the 9th Doctor shouting, "Everybody lives" at the end of The Doctor Dances. The Rings of Akhaten speech is one such moment for the 11th Doctor, so join me as we dive into this emotional and powerful performance given by Matt Smith and look at why it is so well loved. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, guys, and ding that notification bell so you know when my new videos go live. Let's go! Let's just look at some brief context around this scene. The Doctor has brought Clara to the Rings of Akhaten, the first trip she takes in the TARDIS, to come to the Festival of Offerings. This festival is a system-wide event in which residents of all the planets in this system come to hear the Queen of Years sing a song called the Long Song to feed the old god, Akhaten. The whole culture around this festival is to do with sentimentality. Their currency is items that hold sentimental value opposed to money, and the ceremony is about feeding Akhaten, who has been sleeping for millions of years, with the song itself. As we get to this scene, Akhaten, which turns out to be this massive planet-sized parasitic being, has awoken from its slumber and is due to embark on a rampage, consuming all its neighbouring planets. And this is where the Doctor comes in. There is this beautiful juxtaposition of Matt Smith's young age, the smallest of his form, when compared to the massive and all-imposing planet-sized god. This shot really emphasises the size difference between these two beings, and yet the Doctor stands tall, talking down to the beast. It really is a quintessential Doctor moment. It's exactly what we would expect him to do. Against all odds, he stands here with no weapons, no semblance of a plan, no apparent way of stopping this angry parasite from consuming the worlds around him. And this whole thing echoes what the Doctor tells Clara earlier on in the episode.
There is one thing you need to know about travelling with me. Well, one thing apart from the boo box and the 2 hearts. You don't walk away.
You stand and fight, no matter the odds. So here he is, staring down a literal planet that has been worshipped and feared for generations. The Doctor might not be older than this being, it's potentially millions of years old, and at this point the Doctor is about 1,200. But I think it's fair to say that the Doctor has lived thousands of lifetimes during his years. He is far grander, far wiser, he has seen much more than one could possibly imagine. He has experienced more love, more loss, more sorrow, more joy, more everything. And this is the Doctor's weapon of choice, his story. The Doctor starts off not really knowing what to do here. As I said before, he has no plan. But as soon as he starts hearing the voice of Mary singing, you can see his face soften. The people are on his side, and he knows what to do.
Okay then. That's what I'll do. I will tell you a story. Can you hear them? All these people who lived in terror of you and your judgment. Can you hear them singing?
I love how he doesn't start off aggressive or loud. Most people would opt for that approach, but the Doctor's voice is tender and sweet. He speaks in the same way he speaks to Mary earlier on in the episode. It's like he's talking to a child.
Hey, do you mind if I tell you a story, one you might not have heard?
Which speaks to how the Doctor views Akhaten. The Doctor points out the fact that Akhaten has lost the faith of the people. They are no longer on its side. They have realised that it's not a god, it's merely a monster.
Oh, you like to think you're a god? You're not a god. You're just a parasite eaten out with jealousy and envy and longing for the lives of others.
The Doctor would know. He's seen real gods, and Akhaten doesn't even compare. It's something else, and the Doctor puts it in its place, acknowledging what Akhaten really is. The Doctor is pointing out what a vile existence this being has, how it has no right to do these things. A parasite is something that feeds off of another being at their expense, and the expense here are the people's souls, their stories.
You feed on them, on the memory of love and loss and birth and death and joy and sorrow.
All of their offerings of sentimental value, they are full of stories, full of their soul, and Akhaten feeds off of this. You can see this theory in action as earlier on in the episode, Clara has to give away her mother's ring for a bike, and you can see how deflated she gets. It's as if she gave away part of her soul, and this story is making the argument that that is quite literally what she has done. So, the Doctor issues this challenge. He taunts Akhaten.
So, come on then. Take mine. Take my memories.
And offers up himself as the offering. He offers up his stories, his soul, as a means of defeating this monster. The messianic imagery doesn't stop there, but we'll get into that a little bit later.
I hope you've got a big appetite. Because I have lived a long life, and I have seen a few things.
As I said earlier, the Doctor has lived 1,000 lifetimes, seen so much in his time. And here we see him put it all on the table. This is where Matt Smith really kicks it into 11th gear, pun intended. The self-reflection on his own life, recounting what he has lost, what he has witnessed. Even though he's putting on this strong front, there is a vulnerability in his eyes.
I looked away from the last great Time War. I marked the passing of the Time Lords. I saw the birth of the universe, and I watched as time ran out.
His voice is strained and wavering as he tries to push through the pain of what he's seen.
Moment by moment until nothing remained. No time, no space, just me.
The curse of loneliness that follows the Doctor rears its head. We see the years and years of existence seep through the seams of his sentences. The emotional trauma of outgrowing everything and everyone around him is worn in the lines of Matt Smith's face. It's as if this man is reliving all of these memories alongside Akhaten as it feeds on him.
I walked in universes where the laws of physics were devised by the mind of a madman. And I watched universes freeze and creation burn.
And he starts to cry. Maybe from the pain caused by Akhaten, or maybe from the pain of the memories themselves, we don't know. This whole speech reminds us of how much the Doctor has seen and done.
I have seen things you wouldn't believe. I have lost things you will never understand. And I know things, secrets that must never be told, knowledge that must never be spoken.
How much of a mental powerhouse he really is. He knows so much more than we could ever quantify. And you can see this in play, as throughout the speech, Akhaten's face goes from this menacing smile to a face of fear. He wasn't expecting so much from one person.
Knowledge that will make parasite God's place. So come on then, take it all, baby. Have it. You have it all.
This is the 11th Doctor in full swing, taken on a planet with just his words and seemingly winning. He taunts Akhaten again, this time with much more force and confidence as he offers up the rest of his stories, the rest of his soul. A bit of rage comes out as he shouts it down, and the false god collapses in on itself. The Doctor's head hangs low, his energy has been depleted. He hunches over to catch his breath, before seeing that his efforts have failed. But luckily, all is not lost as Clara arrives to save the day. Going back to the comment I made earlier about the Messianic themes in this, Akhaten is a false god, posing as a deity to the planets around it, demanding their worship through fear and intimidation, threatening to consume and destroy everything around it once it has awoken. As it awakes, the Doctor steps up to take on the beast, and as he does this, Mary, the Queen of Years, starts singing a song in support of the Doctor, and the rest of the congregation join in. What's interesting is that before this, the song that we heard them sing was for Akhaten. We hear them singing what's called the lullaby for a sleeping god. In this song, the lyrics emphasize sleep. The fear of Akhaten waking up is what spurs them to keep on singing. Now compare this to the song that they sing to the Doctor. This one talks of a warrior calling them to wake up, let the cloak of life cling to your bones. It is a song of inspiration, encouragement, to show the Doctor that they are with him. It gives a hint to the idea of the Doctor being this godlike figure, facing down the false idol of Akhaten as his disillusioned worshippers turn away from him. It's just a little interesting thing that I noticed whilst making the video. The song obviously adds a great dramatic layer to the speech, but if you look at the words, it also tells an even deeper story. As I said before, this is a defining moment for the 11th Doctor. Matt Smith's emotional range in this scene is phenomenal, using the script to travel from being calm, pensive and reflective to raw, thunderous and emotional. Just like the Doctor does in this scene, he gives it all. His physicality gives us a real sense of the weight of Akhaten's power as he pushes through the pain and sorrow, delivering one of the best speeches in the whole of Doctor Who. Thanks for watching, guys. I loved looking at this scene, so if you enjoyed, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to drop a comment on what you'd like to see me look at next, that would be amazing. As usual, there are playlists and everything in the description. Anyway, I'll see you all on the next one. Bye!